You know, Ben Franklin once said, eat to live. Don't live to eat. Huh? Huh? Well, it's an easy decision, Boyd. You can either famine or feast, live or die. Bravo.
Hello, and welcome to the second annual Flyby Film Spooktober Festival of Spooks.
Yeah,
that,
that sounds good to me.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah,
Is that the official title?
I think it should be. You might have to write that down because I'll probably forget it, but Flyby Film Spooktober, what was it? Month of
Festival
spookiness?
of Spooks.
Oh, Festival of Spooks.
Festival of Spooks.
Spooktober Festival of Spooks. Is that right?
Blake, spoiler alert, I'm not gonna write that down.
Okay.
That is a shitty title that I am immediately ashamed of.
No.
It was word garbage that flew out of my mouth.
All
Anyway.
words are word garbage. Do
true.
like maybe 5% of the words spoken by the human population is worth its salt? Maybe 5%.
That is way too high. You are very optimistic, my friend.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. I thought I was being generous, or like I was being kind in my. But apparently I should have gone harder. So.
Yeah, you were being kind. Anyway, to those listeners who are invested in this, we at Flyby Films Incorporated take the month of October very seriously, and we take our horror credentials very seriously. So we use this month to delve into something very, very horrible.
Yes.
Like the myth of Bloody Mary would be one example. We did that last year. And this year, just to rip the Band-Aid off and surprise our eager listeners, we're going to be covering found footage. That's what it's called. We're going to be covering found footage prior to
and I'm just gonna I'm gonna pause the tape right here. I just want to say,
pause it.
I can hear the groans from the people who are listening to us. Oh God, not another series on found footage. How many times do I have to listen to a podcast talking about Blair Witch Project? Listen, we're not doing that shit.
We've heard your complaints.
We've heard your complaints in real time. We are doing anything we could find prior to 1999.
So we are doing found footage before the pivotal moment
of Blair Witch.
Of found footage, yeah.
Which never deserved it in the first place. If there's a movie that deserves it, it's Paranormal Activity. That movie deserves it. Blair Witch is bullshit.
I'm sure we can get into this later.
Okay.
But Blake, I did want to ask you before we get too far into films and this very fascinating history of finding the film on the ground.
Yeah.
Which is I'm sure what found footage means. What have you been up to? I haven't seen you screen to screen for
a month and a half.
It feels like a month and a half.
I feel like it has been a month and a half.
Okay.
Because I think the last time...
What have you been up to?
Well, I had another kid. So, funny story. His name is Fenton Ignatius Cornell Collier. But my oldest, Seamus, refuses to call him anything but Owen, which was the other choice we were going with. It was either Owen or Fenton. And so my wife and I have gone back and forth on whether or not we're going to change his first name legally to Owen. I personally am of the mind to just keep it Fenton and let him have a secret name that only his brother knows. So, give him an identity crisis early on. Wait, am I Owen or am I Fenton? It doesn't matter because we're going to call him Iggy because of the Ignatius part. That's going to be his nickname. So his first name really is kind of whatever.
I love this labyrinth of names that you've set up for your son. It's like you're giving him a challenge and he,
yeah, just
right off the bat.
We've gotten audible groans from some people. And it was a long process of getting that dwindled down. My wife likes meanings. I like the sound. I could care less ultimately about the meaning. As long as it sounds good. That's my thing. And so I kind of bogarted Seamus the last time around. And so I basically said, this one's up to you. I will veto ones that I just refuse to name them.
Yeah.
But everything else is on the table. And so she loves the meaning of Owen, Eoin, because it's God is gracious. She loves Ignatius because it's fiery, and he is also a great church saint. And then Cornell is because we both have a fondness for Cornell West. And then Collier, of course, is my last name. So Cornell means hornblower. And so he would be a fiery hornblower. So that's what hooked my wife with the two middle names. Because she wants someone who will basically burn it down to the ground and start something better. So
yeah.
Well, yeah. So
I have to agree. Like whatever route you go with these names, it's badass.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just.
I think it's great, regardless. So.
Yeah, Fenton Ignatius Cornell Collier is it's a mouthful, but it's a good mouthful. It feels good when you say it, and I am really kind of on your side about it has to sound good aspect of things, because and also getting not groans but very quizzical faces when I tell people my son's name is Hazel, because they're like, isn't that a girl's name? And I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, right here's an example.
And that's you should just buy a shit ton of copies of Wise Blood. And anytime you get that response from somebody, you just hand them a copy and say, "You fucker, you better read this."
You learn yourself something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the maybe horrible twist to this is that Hazel Motes, I I love the character Hazelnuts.
Oh, he's amazing.
But
he's not a good person. But
he's not a good person, and that's maybe what makes it. I'm a little bit sheepish to tell people like there's the connection there, but like I love. So his middle name is Elias. I love how Hazel Elias sounds.
Yeah.
And again,
it's got that rising and falling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. Anyway, but like back to Fenton, like whatever way you guys go, he's got a good name.
Yeah. Well, and a fun
Great
little historical. It's more mythological, but it could be historical. Like I don't know. There's a Fenton that, according to myth, of Irish myth, survived the flood of Noah, and he went to Ireland and repopulated Ireland, and he lived to be tons of years old.
Single-handedly.
And so, like, ultimately, Fenton, like, is cool in that way, because he basically, like, started Ireland. But also, it's kind of bad, because he just banged a lot of broads, and, like, had no commitment to any of them. So I don't know, like, it could go either way. Like, so...
Yeah.
Maybe according to like kind of like Creed on The Office says, maybe a guy slipped in here or there. I don't know. It was wild days. So
it was wild days. Well, yeah, and I think naming your kids after saints is like setting the bar too high too, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They gotta get the.
You gotta get a something good, but a little bit of rebel in them.
Exactly.
Start them off well. Well, Blake, I just have to say congratulations.
Thank you.
To you, to Melissa, to Seamus. Like, I hope you find your rest. I hope you find joy in all this.
Oh, it's been great so far. We've loved it. The one downside, and it wasn't a downside in the beginning, but it became a downside, is that during maternity and paternity leave, we started watching Chopped. We started watching episode after episode after episode of Chopped, and I always loved that show, but I've lost the loving feeling after what has become about 12 seasons at this point in a matter of a month. And it's it makes me sad sometimes to think how much Chopped I've watched.
It'll do that to you. Binge watching, like, it's inevitable when you're basically on like a stay-at-home bender, right? Like, for whatever reason, what if you're sick or something like that, it's inevitable. And something like Chopped is the right amount of attention when you also like you're trying to care for something that is trying to thrive, but you're the key to making sure it thrives, so that's gonna happen. And when you sit back and you think 12 seasons of Chopped, that's
it's problematic.
I'm sorry for your gain. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I mean I like to even it out. I like to have good with the bad, good with the wicked, all that good stuff. Tension. I like tension.
Yeah, my father-in-law loves tension. His whole thing is tension.
Is that why he picked the book that he had us read?
Oh, are we gonna do this? Are we gonna have a pre-conversation?
I think we should do just a very brief, very brief We read The Book of Strange New Things by Michael Faber because his father-in-law picked it. And then we found out. Whatever.
Michel
Michael,
Faber.
Michel. Like, okay, Foucault. Anyways. And then we come to learn that he didn't necessarily like it the first time he read it. And I'm like, why would you do this to us? Why? Because you thought that you might like it the second time around? Oh, I don't know, man.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and defend it because I didn't pick it. I feel like I have freedom. I had read it before. I was the only one other than Dave who had read it before.
Yeah.
Dave being my father-in-law. And I definitely feel like I was put in a position to defend the book by multiple people in that book club because I had read it before, which I think is a little bit unfair because you know, as people were like airing their grievances about this book, I was like, yeah, I see that. Maybe I don't necessarily agree with, like, they didn't grieve me in the same way, but I don't think those things are necessarily going to be resolved. And so, like, I tried to balance this, like, I don't want to shit all over Dave's book while we're reading it.
Yeah.
I'm also not having the terrible time with it that some people were. But it's also not my favorite book. I wouldn't have chosen it for this book club. So I don't really, like, care. Like, I'm not invested in you guys enjoying it. But I also, like, didn't want to tank the vibe of the book club.
Well, and
this
and
10 week book.
You want to give the book a fair shot.
Yeah.
And to be fair, for a majority of the book, I was enjoying it. It was the end that completely, like, just turned me against it.
So, I don't think I'm against it. I think I read it before. I read it again. I actually listened to it this time. I audiobooked it. And I didn't have as strong a reaction as you did. I thought the ending was flaccid both times. I didn't think it was very strong how it ended with the main character. Mm-hmm. And that's a valid criticism. I really, really dug how, like, one of the criticisms we're seeing in this book is that it's very boring and it takes a long time for anything to happen, and it, like, why is that the case? I actually really kind of dug that because space is boring. Yeah. Like, we romanticize it. We send these things out there and take pictures of these galaxies and stuff like that. But you have to really, really pay attention and invent a cool narrative about space in order for it to really be exciting. And you know, we call that narrative astrophysics and science and things like that, but it is an invented narrative. You know, it reflects some truth, but any drama in it is from us. That's made up. And this book, like, the space exploration aspect of it, felt to me like I was scrolling through LinkedIn and listening to people post about their view of the future. And that shit is boring as hell. Yeah. Like, it fills me with this anxiety that I get reading this view of, you know, it put Elon Musk's Mars expedition in place of U6 Oasis expedition, and they could probably match out one for one. And so I really liked that, and then it came to a head with this fiery, dialogue between the main character and this other kind of madman character, and that was kind of fun. It was a bit much, but it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then after that, the book, it tanks.
Yeah.
But like, I dug that because a lot of times like sci-fis are just overly romantic, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is the thing, and this is devoid of that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think you hit the nail on the head as far as at what point it becomes flaccid after that conversation between the main character and this madman. I had a few issues through the rest of the book, but nothing that was like turning me like against it ultimately. I think the way he was writing parts of it made me think that there was going to be more of a shoe drop than there was. And perhaps that's unfair of me to expect that, but I feel like it could have been written differently to where that wasn't necessarily the expectation. And so I felt a little bit like I was watching the last episode of Lost again.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, so there's a lot of really cool, interesting mysteries going on here, and you're solving none of them. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. Okay, well, I'm glad I wasted the last 4 years of my life.
It did feel like 4 years of reading.
Yeah.
It was
it
was long.
It was long. Yeah. And that was back when seasons were 24 episodes.
Oh, you're talking about Lost. I was talking about the book.
But
Lost definitely
Lost too. Yeah.
felt like that.
Both of them. Yeah. So, yeah.
100.
But nonetheless, am I disappointed I read it? No. No, I don't have to like a book to be glad I read it. I mean, that's been so far. I've not ultimately quote unquote liked any of the books we've read since I've been part of this book club. But I'm glad I've read them because it's moved me outside of my normal kind of genre comfort zone. So,
Blake, we love having you in the book club. So, if that's any consolation,
I'll take it.
We hope you don't abandon us
no.
because of our shitty choices in books.
No, it's worth it. It's worth it. I get more enjoyment out of the potential of each book than I do really anything else. So,
yeah.
But, Jamison, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking dregs of coffee from this morning.
Please tell me you microwaved. Do you microwave your coffee?
I microwaved it probably like 4 hours ago.
Okay.
It is not. It is literally three more sips. So.
Well, I am drinking alcohol.
What about
I am drinking alcohol, but I was telling Jamison that the last week I've been dealing with what I presume to be a ragweed allergy, also known as hay fever. But I haven't gotten it near as bad as a lot of people do. A lot of people get like fevers and like just horribleness. I've had a cough, a really bad cough all the last week. And my wife has had it for 2 or 2.5 weeks. And Seamus has had it a little bit here and there. So it's made its rounds, but I am having a hot toddy. Because I thought I was coughing so much today that my chest started to hurt whenever I was coughing. So I was like, I need something to kind of like soothe it a little bit, but also, get lit.
Yeah.
And so I used this rye whiskey that my wife got from Washington, D.C. from the George Washington distillery. It's like one of those gift boxes that has like a 50 milliliter bottle. And I had tried some. Mm-hmm. I like had taken a little bit at one point, and it's stiff. Like, it's not good. And so I was like, perfect. This is the perfect thing to use for a hot toddy. So, yeah, that's what I'm drinking, along with a life water. So,
all right,
cold and hot, tension,
Blake.
Yeah.
Well, Blake, cheers.
Cheers. Gesundheit.
And
Welcome.
Also, I have to say, I'm sure the listeners will appreciate your sexy voice.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If anything, any silver lining to the hay fever,
we'll take
I guess
it.
there's the sexy voice of Blake.
Yeah, I mean, take what you can get, I suppose. So I feel like we should probably talk about the movie.
Yeah. So what was our first movie for? We're going
in chronological order.
Chronologically. Okay.
Yeah. Our first. I'm checking the year to make sure I have it right. I think I know what it is, but I want to. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. From 1980.
Oh.
1980. I would have let you guess.
That's what I was gonna guess.
Yeah, I was teetering between 1979 and 1980. I just couldn't remember which one it was. 1980's Cannibal Holocaust, which its reputation precedes it. I had never watched it. I knew about it. Everyone who loves horror knows about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've seen scenes from it. One in particular.
Which
the stick going through the woman completely, like where they come up on the shore and they see the woman like stuck on the stick. That was a pretty pivotal scene, and I think whatever trials came up against the director of the movie because they thought he actually murdered someone to make the movie.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah, he got in a lot of trouble for that movie.
This movie had quite a reputation still.
Yeah.
It still ruffles feathers, and I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But Blake, tell me what was your experience with this movie before we decided to watch it? Like, you said you had never seen it before.
Yeah.
Why?
I viewed it as... Have you heard of a film called the Serbian Film?
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I haven't seen it.
I've seen the whole thing. I sat through it. I wrote an article on it. Not that bad. Like, it's bad. Like, the stuff in it is bad, but the film itself, like, it's pretty well constructed. Like, it's shock. It's shock theater. That's basically all it is, which is what all this is. It kind of has that, like, going into it, you're like, this is a movie I feel like I probably shouldn't watch, but I'm going to. And so... that feels like the case with Cannibal Holocaust. Like, it feels almost untouchable because it feels dirty to watch it. But we should know as horror fans that it's never as bad as people make it out to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some really horrible stuff. But I wouldn't say... watching it, I wouldn't have charged the director with murder. So.
Well, yeah. Also, I mean, I'm not trying to make light of this movie, but we live in a post-social media world. Like, be honest with yourself, if you're not bothered by random GIFs popping up, and I am bothered by these things, like this is legitimately why I avoid movies with this reputation and things like this. At one point in college, this is a side story, one of my roommates like locked me in my room and tried to force me to watch the video where the politician shoots himself. I forget. It's a famous, famous
I don't remember
viral
the guy's
video.
name, but I know which one you're talking about.
And I just shut my eyes and I was like, this is stupid. Why are you trying to get me to do this? I don't want to do that, And I think the way you kind of describe it as like a horror film where you're not supposed to watch it, but you watch it anyway, it has this untouchable nature to it. Feels a lot like these videos, like, anything posted on World Star Hip Hop, like all this stuff. And when you describe, like, as horror fans, you should know that it's never that bad. The stuff you're going to see on the internet is going to be 100 times worse than this.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, whenever you can find YouTube videos of actual, like, footage of slaughter, like, it's not, there's no comparison. So.
This butts up and wants to kind of cozy up to something like the Faces of Death and stuff like that. Oh, and maybe we should mention that type of found footage we're not covering.
Yeah, no.
I have no interest in, I wouldn't have signed up for something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not that. There's still a line between Cannibal Holocaust and something like that. But it does have a similar reputation. And I should say, with a caveat, there's a line when it comes to humans.
Yes.
Right? And that. This movie, and it usually comes with disclaimers on it, is not vegetarian friendly.
No.
So,
specifically one scene, which is really tough to watch.
Yeah.
Because that actually, I think, was real. The way they did that. So.
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, there are 6 on-screen animal deaths, and they were all real, and 7 in total because they had to reshoot one of them.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Yeah.
So.
PETA was not happy. Although I don't think they were... Were they an organization at that point? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think they were worried about Italian films at that point.
No.
And we should note this is an Italian film. So even though it takes place in New York, it's Italian. So.
I think the hubbub around this film stinks of a lot of hearsay, like some really mad moral majority folk types screenshotted parts of the film and showed it to their like representatives, and were like, "How do you let this smut on TV? Blah blah blah, or in the theaters? Blah blah blah." Not and completely taking it out of context, because anyone who watches this film within the first 5 minutes realizes there's not much reality to it. It feels fake from the very beginning. I was to be honest extremely surprised at how little I felt drawn into it as a real quote unquote found footage. Like the whole time I was just like, this feels like put upon. Like this is not the way it's set up, the characters they got to be the documentarians, and the guy who goes in who's like progressive and is offended by all the things that the quote unquote natives do. They all read really, really poorly characterized. And so I was like, yeah, this is clearly a movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I agree with you there. I think I was kind of pulled in because there is a novelty to it all. And I was actually kind of surprised at how well they pulled off the novelty.
Yeah.
You know, we'll talk kind of later about some other found footage films and you know how they kind of pull it off, but since this is kind of the genesis of the genre, you know, it is interesting to think back like how the filmmakers kind of constructed this in their mind, and you know, so if you've never seen Cannibal Holocaust, I don't really recommend it. It is with all the like caveats about like it being fake that it is still like an uncomfortable and hard movie to watch. Kira did not like it.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to watch it.
No.
But I do think it is an interesting movie, and almost on the good movie scale of types of things, because specifically because of the novelty. Like, I think that they really pull that off. And so how it works, and I was actually thinking about this, and I did a tiny bit of research because because a lot of times when we think of found footage, we think you know, video cassettes that people like get at oh, why am I blanking? At the Salvation Army,
yeah.
You know, and they pick Goodwill. That's what I was trying to remember, and I couldn't. But you know, a secondhand store, you find these VHS tapes, and that's, I think, where the name comes from. But video, like, camcorders weren't even a thing, at least not to the consumer in 1980.
Yeah.
It wasn't really until like 83 that they were released, and they still weren't like widely available until like 87. So that type of aesthetic wasn't even really like thought of. And so in this movie, it follows, you know, it's about these like grad student-esque documentary filmmakers who try to find this group of cannibals. And so already, you know, they're using another type of found footage where it's a documentary being made, and then the first half of the movie follows this professor who wants to go and find out what happened to these documentarians, and ends up finding their rolls of film, and then he brings them back, and the corporation wants to show them live on TV. I thought that was like the most unbelievable thing, is that they just wanted to sight unseen just broadcast them, you know, with some editing and stuff.
That would have gone over really well.
And then, yeah. And then the rest of the movie is them watching it, because the professor convinces them to watch it before they broadcast it.
Yeah.
And then they all watch in horror, because the surprise is, you know, the documentarians, you know, they met a terrible fate, but the twist is that they deserved it.
Yeah.
You know.
They were horrible people.
You watch it and you realize you want them to get eaten. You know? So.
And not only that, but and I think I caught this in the film, but they were celebrated on for another documentary before they did this one, and the corporate people knew that they paid some of the people in the shots to like be killed or something, or I don't remember what it was that they paid them to do, but they paid them to do something that was not like, that was like clearly in the realm of quote unquote factual documentary filming, was not kosher. So
yeah. I think it was just that they were paid actors.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
that nothing was real. I don't think the corporation knew there was any sort of violence
Gotcha.
to it.
Okay.
But
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm of two minds with this film. I remember you sending me a message saying that you don't ever want to watch this again, but you couldn't not say it was a good film. And I largely agree with that. I think it's worth. I think it's better than people give it credit for. I think it's more than just mere exploitation film. But I philosophically disagree with the direction they took with it. Because I actually would have found it more interesting if they had made the documentarians like really normal and like banal, and they just intentionally like misrepresented everything, which is kind of the nature of documentaries. And they got eaten, and I would still say on some level they might have deserved it. I think maybe allowing the documentarians to go full on like Apocalypse Now on the natives it killed some of the power of the point that I think the film was trying to make. But on some level, I mean, I think you can make a case that like, I don't think maybe there's been some documentarians out there that were this horrible. I have my doubts, but
it definitely seemed like that was very unbelievable.
Yeah.
How just inhumane
mm-hmm.
these people were.
Yeah.
You know, they like that scene you were talking about, that girl with the stick, like it actually like happened because of something they did.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a sense of regret.
Yeah.
They treated these lives as nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's actually interesting because the name is a little bit of a mystery until you realize that the Holocaust is happening on the cannibals.
Yeah.
Like, and then it like clicks, like, oh, the documentarians are the ones causing the Holocaust to these people.
Yeah.
They're treating them as worthless, and they're putting them in these contrived situations.
Yeah.
to remove them of their humanity. But yeah, it doesn't. It's interesting because I think maybe the film was trying to make a comment about like what you caught before, which was like the fakeness of the documentary format.
Yeah.
And it used this really extreme method.
Yeah.
You know, that maybe there's more interesting things they could have done with the extreme method than kind of gone on about how, you know,
but if they
this almost
if they
pedantic argument about.
Well, and that's the problem, is that in order to make a horror film, you have to kind of go over the top. You had to have the the girl on the stick. You had to have like all these things because it's iconic horror type and imagery, and so like I get why they did it. Part of me just thinks that there was a more interesting drama in this film than there was a horror film.
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, like, basically what I took away from the documentarians and the natives themselves is that they just, like, people just have a human propensity for butt stuff. So,
yeah,
that's what I took away. There's a lot of butt stuff in this movie. And it was without consent. That much. In every case.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of that, my wife agreed to watch this with me. I think she just wanted a horror movie, and then she realized, like, oh, not this type of horror movie. Yeah. After we watched it, which
when you told me that she was watching, I was like, okay, all right.
Well, you know,
I mean, I know Kira well enough to know that she can handle it. Like, it's not like But I was like, ooh, okay.
But she was particularly bothered, and I'm gonna try to give her words as best I can remember them.
Okay.
So not to misrepresent them, but she was particularly bothered that, like, and Kira, if you listen to this, you can let me know if I misrepresented them.
Actually, leave a voicemail and we'll play it on the next episode.
Yeah.
Or actually probably in like 2 or 3 episodes, because we're currently working these in 2 at a time, so
we'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah.
But you know, she was particularly bothered by the fact that of the documentary film crew, like, everyone got eaten, but it was the female character that got eaten or raped and then eaten. Yeah. And she definitely wasn't blameless, but she seemed more upstanding than the rest.
Yeah. She at least puked when she saw things that were not okay.
Yeah.
Even though absolutely. She didn't address any of it. But she at least was repulsed enough by it.
Yeah. Yeah, and she did try to stand in the way a couple times, specifically with the girl on the stick situation.
Yeah.
But she was, too weak to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there, and I could see that as a legitimate grievance. Like, more violence was perpetuated against the women in this movie, and I guess that's just kind of history, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like on some level, like that's probably the most historically accurate aspect of the movie.
yeah, and like, because it's almost like saying that I'm not trying to excuse it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, it definitely makes for a harsher film to watch, right?
Yes.
So I guess I want to just mention
that. If you're triggered by really, really brutal rape scenes, I would stay away from this one, because there's a lot in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very uncomfortable ones too. Even by my standards, I was like, ugh. Okay, well, can we move on to a different scene now? I'm good. So, yeah.
So, but all that being said, I think I was still surprised that, like, it was, as you said with the Serbian film, it was pretty well constructed. It wasn't the B horror film that I thought it was going to be.
No.
And that, that's probably because I didn't do a ton of reading on it, but I just kind of based that opinion on the name Cannibal Holocaust, but it was a well-constructed horror film that had a very novel twist on how it was being told that ended up, spawning a big cottage horror film industry. So
very much so.
So in that way, as a historical artifact, this is a good film.
So question.
Yeah.
Every horror fan's favorite director, Eli Roth, made an homage, a remake. I never watched it, so I don't know. Green Inferno. How does seeing the original Cannibal Holocaust, which mentions Green Inferno a couple times, how does the viewing of this film affect your willingness to watch Eli Roth's Green Inferno?
I want to say two things. One, it's really interesting you brought this up because listeners, we haven't talked about this ahead of time. I know you don't have to believe that, but I definitely was thinking the same thing. I was like wondering about this, about Eli Roth. I was thinking about his movie, The Green Inferno. I also haven't seen it. Honestly, it makes me want to watch it and and see like what Eli Roth kind of took from it. So
Nothing
my
good.
Experience.
Nothing good.
Here's my experience with Eli Roth. I watched is it Wrong Turn or
Yes.
Cabin Fever. Cabin
Is it
Fever
Cabin
is
Fever? I get the hillbilly slasher films mixed up.
Yeah. Well, Cabin Fever was about a disease.
Oh crap! Okay.
It was like a zombie like disease.
Clearly, I've seen Wrong
Cabin
Turn,
Fever.
but I haven't seen Cabin Fever. Apparently, because
I liked Cabin Fever when I first saw it. I haven't seen it since. I don't know if I would like it again.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. That came out, like 2001?
yeah.
Long time ago. And so I was like, okay, Eli Roth. For some reason, Eli Roth became a megastar after just Cabin Fever, which Cabin Fever was passable. I don't know why he becomes a megastar.
Yeah.
And then Hostel comes out, and so I was like, okay, I liked his first one. I'm going to go and see Hostel. I hated Hostel, and at that point I was like, I don't care anything that you have to say, Mr. Roth.
So you know what's funny? Is I actually didn't mind Hostel, the first one, when I saw it, and I haven't seen it since. I think the warm glow of the brilliance of Saw was still like bathing me in its light whenever I went to see Hostel, so I gave it a lot more fair, like kind of a general goodness than it probably deserves. But I actually didn't mind it. I remember coming out of it being like, yeah, not my type of movie, but at least like it worked on a technical level for me. I doubt I would have that feeling now watching it again, but I just know of Eli Roth as a persona, and I think he's an asshole. So that kind of makes me not like him.
I agree with that sentiment, but I also decided that probably like 20 years ago, and I haven't touched Eli Roth since.
Yeah. Like, I don't even want to watch his history of horror, like that documentary series that he put together. Like, I love watching documentaries about horror films. I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. That's how much I despise Eli Roth.
I will say, I think he's kind of like his light has kind of dimmed a little bit. He's not the darling horror darling that he once was. And I get the sense from reading about some of the movies he's made that he still kind of takes a very I don't know how to say this, a very moralistic approach to horror movies. And that actually kind of interests me, that there's someone who, I feel like we're in a very postmodern world of films and horror, in the 80s, for better or worse, had a very moralistic streak to it. It, you could argue that it's the most conservative film genre, which is really funny to me. But and weirdly enough, I think Eli Roth has kind of held on to that. I don't know if that's true or not. I think I read, a few reviews. Weirdly enough, if you're familiar with Armand White, who is the biggest critical troll, film critic troll.
I had never heard of Armand White until Get Out. And he wrote the only negative review of that film at the time that it was released. And all of a sudden he was on my radar and I was like, oh, you're that guy. Okay.
Yeah. He's fun to read every once in a while.
I think he's a blast.
He
cracks me up.
He's actually a big proponent of Eli Roth, which I've always thought was just very funny. None of that has made me interested enough to get into Eli Roth. No. But in the back of my mind, I've always thought maybe there's something, maybe there's a kernel of interestingness with this film director who refuses to change with the times and just sticks to this one thing. He also has this a Keanu Reeves movie.
Yeah, Knock Knock.
Knock Knock. I never saw
that. It may be
that.
The only Keanu Reeves movie I haven't watched.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's well remembered, so maybe we'll watch it for.
And I think it's a
film.
remake of a French film.
That might make sense.
I think that's right. I don't remember for sure, but I do believe it's a remake. So.
But yeah, I mean, this is just a long, complicated, winding way of saying it kind of made me want to revisit that and see what inspired him to hold on to Cannibal Holocaust as this touch point to his identity as a filmmaker.
Well, stay tuned, folks. We might end up doing it. We're crazy enough to do it.
What about you? Were you interested in Green Inferno at all?
No, not really. But I would do it because I am a glutton for punishment. So, I just don't envision a world in which Eli Roth is going to improve upon something that I'm mixed to positive at best on. I just don't foresee him having the talent or the moral fortitude to do anything interesting with it that wasn't already done.
Yeah.
Perhaps poorly in this one. It never has struck me as a thing that I would actively long to do, but If one of us lays it down on the table as a selection, then I am honor bound.
Blake, the truth of the matter is, I won't ever get around to this because I don't care that much.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm on the same page there. So,
like, it's moments like this where I'm like, interesting. Maybe there's something there. But then life happens and my son wakes up and I'm like, oh, I don't actually have time for any of this.
Yeah.
And somehow I fit, recording a podcast with you in.
Yeah.
And that's just because I find way more value in that than the Eli Roth film. So
and
unless
ultimately you're like, or I could watch The Thing again.
Yeah, which I did recently with my father-in-law Dave,
Dude,
who had never seen it before.
Oh, he had never seen it? Did he love it?
He had never seen it. He really liked it.
Yeah. What's not to like? It's a perfect film.
It's pretty great.
No, it's perfect, Jamison. And it is the masterpiece of John Carpenter.
You know what? I'm just crazy enough to agree with you. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I think we should probably be ending this episode soon so we can get to recording the next one.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is a perfect film. It has nothing to do with that.
Carpenter didn't do any other films that were worth note. Just The Thing. Okay, bye.
He did that thing. All right. Bye.